Good. Hello. Good morning. Are we on? What do I have? I look like I have a hickey. What happened here? Did I go to a hip party last night? The hell is this? Dear Lord, what a way to start. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the program. It is Sunday. I'm not making coffee. I ran out of the ground coffee, so I couldn't make the cold brew, which kind of bothers me. Nevertheless, I made 2 cups of coffee here that I'm having. I'm sorry. I got to get back to the coffee making in the traditional sense. There's a guy on Spaces named Pabs whose profile picture is me hiding behind a plant when I did the red carpet on All Out, and it's alarming. Frightening. I go, is that me? Is that a fake me? It's like one of those Alfred Hitchcock Presents episodes. Before I present this to you, I would like to present something else to you. If you have not already, please go watch the latest Hey W with my special boss. Just a guest. It's not a special guest. I mean, I have a guest every show. Christopher Daniels. I don't want to say he's my favorite guest, but he's certainly the only one who brought snacks and wine. If you've ever wanted to see me get a little drunk, it's probably a good episode for you. He is a gentleman. He has the most weirdest, obscure resume career, I think, so far that I've ever seen. I was just like, holy shit, there's so much that we didn't even get to. But the stuff we got to is insane. And I was proven wrong. I'd say 60% of the time, the facts I threw out turned out to be completely incorrect, despite my research. And he also brought wine glasses. God bless him. What a sweet man. Go show him love by watching the episode, and me, both of us at the same time, and share it and like it and all the shit that one needs to do. The links are here. I pinned it in the comments. It's on Twitter. It's around. And go tell people how much you love him. People seem to really like, oh, I'm so happy to see him. He makes me so happy. He does. He's so sweet, despite his eye being all fucked up. Anyway, let's get a look at the underwear a little, shall we? They are gold stars. But there's a navy base with gold stars. It's nice. It's like patriotic, but without rubbing it in your face. And I think that's what I like about it so much. It's like, yeah, I like this country. I'm not sure if I love it yet, but I didn't really like it. Let's talk to people. Let me grab a cup. Gina Kildare has joined Citizens United. Thank you and welcome and enjoy the emojis, Gina. You might be the first Gina in this group. Nails will show you around, I'm sure. Midnight Cowboy said, I'm up too early. Love you and Christopher Daniels on Hey. People love Christopher Daniels. It's so nice to see. I didn't know how many people really loved it. I didn't think people hated him. Sean said, hey, yo, culties, happy spooky month. Happy October, but only if you're in the States. You can go careening towards Halloween. In Canada, we still have the hurdle of Canadian Thanksgiving. So hold on to your horses, and then it's a rush to Halloween. We also have, speaking of Canada, in a couple weeks-ish, less than 2 weeks, October 12th and October 13th, AW is coming to Toronto, to the Coca-Cola Coliseum. And I was doing some research. How crazy is this? When I was a child, my father was in a pipes and drums band. The bagpipes, the snare drums, the kilt, the whole routine. And every summer at the Canadian Exhibition, the CNA, or the X, as hip people call it, end of the summer, they would do a thing called the Musical Ride, where it's the bagpipe band, and then I guess the horses from the Toronto Police, and it's in this big kind of the arena. They would put dirt down and make a stable out of it, and the band would be in the arena, and they would play, and the horses would kind of dance around. And they used to do little, formations. I don't know what the hell you could. This is like a dog show or like synchronized swimming, like that kind of, a dog and pony show without the dogs. Or the dogs or perhaps the people playing bagpipes. And they used to do this horrible thing at the end called the charge. And the horses would run at the band, which must have scared the shit out of them. I don't know how you can play bagpipes under those circumstances. That was the big finale. I used to go every year as a kid. So you would go, maybe we got free tickets to the X, and my dad was in the thing, and I would go, and it was always something we do every summer. That was in the Coliseum, which turned into the Rico Coliseum, which turned into the Coca-Cola Coliseum, which is where AW will be October 12th and October 13th. So that's very incredibly weird to think about for me. And I also did research on the Coliseum and who had played there. Jimi Hendrix had played there once. He did a concert. I found his set list. You know what he closed with, which is very synchronistic? He closed with a cover of Wild Thing. Wrap your head around that. Can't wait to tell Tony. Maybe he'll spring for that version for Moxley. Amanda said good morning. Mikey said good morning. Rob said the charcuterie board and olives and chocolate covered raisins. So yeah, I got screwed, as you will see in the episode, and that's legitimate. Christopher Daniels had a lovely charcuterie board. Lovely-ish. I mean, for the show. Wasn't the best one I've ever had. And I put in my mouth what I thought would be an olive, and it was a chocolate-covered raisin or almond, and it threw me off completely. And that's in the episode, because, again, we don't edit. Poe Girl said, good morning, all. Amanda said, RJ, you were looking good in the picture this morning. Thank you. Can I say that I've been losing weight, been leaning out, and it's finally starting to show, and it's adorable and fun and nice, and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm way behind in the chat. So give me a minute. I was talking about my father. I was getting nostalgic. Vivian said, only the finest treats. I love how CD could have asked the hotel for glasses, but he's too used to making things work. So he brought his own. He's truly the king of the indies. American Girl is here. Zoelle is here. Good morning from the land of Oz. Good for you, Zoelle. Rachel said, hi, everyone. Austin said, happy October. Nails is here. She said, good morning. Khalid said, what up, dude, with this? Rachel said, RJ starts off with a dear Lord. It's what I often do. Zoelle said, I'm surprised there wasn't an audio watermark on the clink sound effects. I think there might be a public domain clink. Christine said, good morning. Nail said, it is genuinely my favorite episode. She's talking about the Christopher Daniels episode, which is so sweet. Because sometimes I do them and I go, I don't know if people are going to like this one or this person. And then it's just like, this is my favorite episode, which is always nice. Lee said, the odd couple with RJ as Felix and David Arquette as Oscar. David and I have talked about this many times. Arthur said that was an awesome Hey W. Nail said, I look forward to the out of context tweet today. Christopher Daniels was dropping some references too. It's so weird. Like, I mean, I've talked to him, you know, a little bit here and there, but then you sit and talk to him and you're like, oh, this person is like another version of me. Mikey said, maybe you mentioned this. How was the wine? I have not had wine in years and years and years. And I didn't really have a choice. I wanted to, as a good host, I had to, you know, not that I hated it. It's just bad for my skin. And I think I enjoyed it. It was a lot. It was an empty stomach. You can definitely see me lose diction as the episode goes on. Okay Gamer said, well, hi to you. Okay Gamer on her channel, and I think she'll be putting up more videos on it, played a game that I love called Trombone Champ. She played it yesterday on her stream, and it brought her so much joy. It brings me so much joy, and I think you will all enjoy watching it. Nail said, I want to know if you finished the wine and you ate more charcuterie. So I was stuck with the board. Christopher's like, I don't know, I can't take this where I'm going. So I walked up to my hotel room with it, and I had it for a guy, and then I threw it out. I mean, I did have enough of it. Some people had some. Nail said, welcome, Gina, never leave. Be irritated by Stanley Tucci. Alea said, really out of topic, but your teeth are so pretty. I cannot stop looking at them. That's not out of topic. This is about me. It's fine. Sorry to everyone in Spaces. I assure you my teeth are great. You hear that? The strength of them? Mia said, sorry I'm late. I was watching you and Christopher Daniels drinking wine. Can I see the underwear? Mia, you got to scroll back. Use the scrolling function and then go back here. This is the value of how you're watching this. Use the technology. Pam said Christopher Daniels is the best. Rowdy said, hi all. I have to go to work, just popping in to say hey, and that I enjoyed the Christopher Daniels episode a lot. Thank you. And go thank him. That was all his doing. Sean said, well, if I have to hurdle anything, I'll just stay home. Leo said, I heard you're going to be in the local community production of Shrek the Musical. Is that true? Yes. I'm going to be playing the guy from Smash Mouth. Rachel said, I like that Christopher Daniels had the restraint to only have that one ink tattoo his whole career. He's a guy who gets the subtlety of it. Having said that, towards the end here, like maybe within the last 5 years, too many accessories, if you ask me. Neil said, hello and goodbye, Katie. Spot Center said, did you get chopped in the neck recently? Yeah, just by one finger. Amanda said, your face when you tasted the red wine was amazing, and you continued grabbing to pretend. No, I did actually drink it. I was holding it, but also it sucks when you drink it because there's a lull. You know, you can't talk. I like to talk. I get nervous with lulls. It's difficult to do. Amanda said, American Girl said, is your dad in corn? He certainly likes it. Mia said, hey, Nails, do you see my birthday? Nails, oh, this is not about me. Human Adventure said, my internet is being a real shit show right now, kind of like Toledo, I suppose. I fucking hated Toledo. So Sierra said, good morning, RJ. Sorry for the neck kicky. My, aren't you fun? I gave you an opening, and you filled it. Miss Andy said, has the guy in Philly with the Hey W shirt been sent his cease and desist? I, certainly shamed him publicly. So hopefully he gets the gist, and hopefully nobody does that kind of thing again, because then it'll force AEW to sell actual AEW merchandising. And not for nothing. He probably made it on Vistaprint. Why should the money go there? The $12 can be going to AEW and to me. I could be getting like $3 out of it. Midnight Cowboy said, did you dress up on Halloween, RJ? If not, what is your most memorable costume? And in 7th grade, I was Mr. Rogers, and I think that was my favorite because I did a good Mr. Rogers then. And it was I had the energy then to do an impression like all day. Aaron said, good morning to you, aka Baldy, from my son. He wants Never Gonna Give You Up. Let me do a dramatic reading for this. I'll meet you halfway. Because this song just really upsets everybody. So I remember seeing this before the whole Rick rolling thing. We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I'm thinking of, you can get this from another guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Got to make you understand. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and desert you. Never going to make you cry. Never going to say goodbye. Never going to tell a lie and hurt you. We've known each other for so long, your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it inside. We both know what's been going on. We know the game. And we're going to play it. And if you ask me how I'm feeling, don't tell me you're too blind to see. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and desert you. Never going to make you cry. Never going to say goodbye. Never going to tell a lie and hurt you. Oh, never going to give. Never going to give. Never going to give. Never going to give. We've known each other for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say it inside. We both know what's been going on. We know the game, and we're going to play it. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Going to make you understand. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and desert you. Never going to make you cry. Never going to say goodbye. Never going to tell a lie and hurt you. And then it repeats again. Can I also, as shitty as those lyrics are, the writers are Pete Waterman, Larry Stock, and Matthew J. Aiken. It took 3 fucking people, and they're not even Rick Astley, to come up with that. And how dare he show up and joke around and yuck it up with this song as if he wrote it. 3 other fucking people wrote it. Jesus. Good work, everyone. We're done for the day. Mikey said, seems like a small venue. I was surprised AW didn't try for the Air Canada Center. I think since they're doing 2 nights in a row, it's like double this. You got to think of it in those terms. So that's exciting. David Arquette is here. Holy shit, he figured it out. Hi, guys. I'm here with Gus. So please watch your language, RJ. Gus, I want to apologize for the past 13 minutes and 43 seconds. Hello, Gus. I'm proud of you. Don't do as I do. Do the opposite. And a little life lesson for you, Gus. Do the opposite of every life choice your father has ever made, and you will turn into a stable, loving, wonderful human being. And I think that's ultimately the important thing. May I take a small moment to rant? Because David and I went back and forth on Instagram a little bit the other day, as we had often did. And somebody tweeted, a couple of people tweeted, oh, RJ and David are going back and forth on Instagram. I've never seen this. What is it? And I was just like, are you unaware of the history here? It's also readily available online. Has all my work been erased? Why is nobody understanding that? Did they not see the documentary? Have they not just been online at all? And it threw me for a loop, and it made me a little upset. Everyone's saying good morning to David. Say good morning to Gus, too. It's not all about David. He's got a sweet child there. Everyone's missing David. Well, he's here now, so. Nail said we could have just had RJ saying clink added to the audio, but those editors really stepped up their game this time. Happy Human Adventure said, although in 1988, the Toledo Zoo hosted two pandas from China named Lili and Nan Nan, who are both probably dead now. Kimbo Grand said, love your show. Can't stop watching it. Thank you. Leo said, why do you hate Stanley Tucci so much? I don't even really know who he is. Good question, Leo. First of all, I don't think he waited long enough after the mourning period of Anthony Bourdain to call up CNN and get a travel show. And also the travel show is just him waltzing around Italy being like, this espresso is great. Wow, fantastic cannoli. Like, you need him to tell you any of this. It's the laziest phoning kind of job. And then on top of that, pretty sure he tried to get David Arquette fired from The Alarmist. This is 2. Number 3, his Instagram videos are insane. He's constantly directing, I believe, his wife who's holding the camera, which is a little, this is not cinema. You're not going to be submitting your reels to the Cannes Film Festival. So it's an air of pomposity. And the 4th reason is he comes up with the fanciest pronunciations of food. He doesn't say zucchini. He says zucchini. That alone, Leo, do you think you can talk to a person who says zucchini? Think about that. You would lose your mind. You'd be going up the wall. Allie said, I'm enjoying my first cup of high anxiety at the moment. Thanks to Billy. Thank you, Billy, for gifting Allie with some high anxiety. It's a wonderful song that I love to sing. And you can get that coffee at rootlesscoffee.com. They have new Danhausen bags, too. They have a new Danhausen travel mug. They don't have any of my mugs because they're mean to me. And I believe they're having a sale, too. So go click and enjoy. Neil said, I've never heard of that Exposed show until today. Is it worth looking up? So in the late 90s, it was probably like Fox, was really big on exposing things. They did Secrets of Magic, Revealed. That was like a big one. And the same production company did Exposed, Secrets of Pro Wrestling. And yes, it is worth looking up. I think it's available online just to watch. You'll probably recognize some people in it, even though it's supposed to be secret. You'll definitely think the person I thought was Christopher Daniels is Christopher Daniels. Voices are changed, shadows are used, and then they explain like a suplex. He's actually landing flat on his back. That's the safest way. And you're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That I know. And then they expose things that aren't really things. Like all I'm going to say is stunt granny. That's it. So yes, it's definitely worth looking up. Al said, is the comedy RJ City is the comedy New Testament to wrestling that Canada is to roundabouts and the islands. Not quite getting it, but I'll take it. Austin said, I'm going as a were-shark this year. It's pretty much a werewolf, but the wolf is substituted with a shark. I'm excited to see this. Look up Chonky from Cabin Boy. I think he may be ahead of you here. Happy Human Adventure said, also Toledo is the glass capital of the world, which isn't much. Jesus, so I guess I could see your pain. Well done. Nail said, an RJ costume would be quite easy this year. Glasses and an on-air sign and a cup of coffee. I'm making it very, very easy. Sean unironically loves that song. Sean said, God bless Rick Astley. Yolanda is here. Christine said, I have a renewed love for this song after Ted Lasso season 2, which I haven't seen. Probably won't. I'm just not going to get around to it. Nails said she's been rickrolled by me. She hasn't, because I told you it was coming. David said, language, RJ. Sorry. Mass Andy said, I heard your appearance on TV Guidance Counselor podcast, which I loved. Were Ted Healy's Southern Gentlemen basically the Coy and Vance Duke of the Stooges? I think they were just basically the Stooges again. There was really no Southern quality to it, unfortunately. Nell said, Stock, Aiken, and Waterman. Oh, Lord, let me go back. Signed loads of popular actors from Australia, soaps, or good-looking people who couldn't sing great and made millions from them. I believe they also did the WWF Superstars album. I think. Also, I want to say In Space is a delightful wrestler, an even better human being. Scotty O'Shea. I enjoy seeing you regaining your life, but also like turning into the debauched person I always knew you were before this. It's been incredibly joyful. And I can say I love you. I'll say it. Whatever. Fucking deal with it. Oh, shit. Sorry to David's son, Gus, who is watching right now. David sent a tribute for no reason with a hippo on it. I'm not quite sure why he did that, because I've sworn in front of his child multiple times already. David said, Gus says hi, but doesn't understand why you can't hear him. I can feel you, Gus, inside my heart. You've sent love from deep inside you. He doesn't, this is not FaceTime. That I understand. That makes sense. This is just a video, Gus. It's live. I can't see you, but I'm sure you look great, and I'm sure your father looks terrible. Neil said, I enjoyed your argument with David on Instagram, but I must admit, when you get too harsh with him, I want to scold you and protect him from you. Well, the man needs to learn the truth about his own life. Brandon said, Larry Shane, what a beauty. Thanks for the hot tip. A great wrestler, an old wrestler everyone should look up. David said, Gus said, good morning to you as well. He should learn the swear word so he learns what not to say. I think I'm doing a service ultimately. Mia said, if you went on the show Monk, what character would you like to play? I'd like to play Monk's hot nephew, Hunk. And I have all the same ailments. I'm a male stripper, but I don't strip anymore because I think the bar is gross. Rod said, RJ and Jim Ross versus Stanley Tucci and Danny DeVito must happen. Not enough people are talking about the heat between JR and Danny DeVito. And the path I'm on is going very well. One day I'm going to get Danny DeVito in that chair, and I'm going to say, hey, Danny, what's up with you and JR? Are you going to apologize? Are you going to make amends? Leo said, yeah, I hate Tucci now too. See, it doesn't take that long. Happy Human Adventure says, I was once in Istanbul, not Constantinople, and I saw Triangle Man and Particle Man. They had a fight, and Triangle Man won. Isn't that interesting? Well, congrats to Triangle Man. Amanda said, Old Wrestling. I will be at Old Wrestling at the end of October in Detroit. I'm very excited about that. So Amanda is going to the show. Fans dress up. It's to period. It's a little almost like Pioneer Village, but early 1900s. Should I be a newsie or a fortune teller for my costume? Oh my God, be a fortune teller because everyone dresses as a newsie. So maybe you can charge a little on the side. I do not want to be a flapper. Thank you. But that's so common. I'm happy you got that surgery. That's so common. But also the newsie is just how half the audience normally dresses. Yes, they're hipsters, so they can dress. They're in costume without having to be in costume. Fortune teller it is. Mia said, David and RJ should go on the show. Password. I would destroy him. 100% I would destroy him. Rachel said, I didn't think about a costume. My hair limits my options since I don't like wigs. So you could wear hats. Rob said, did you finish writing your book in the cabin? You know what? I went up for the week and I only got another 3 pages. So, but it's coming. Once we get to like 10 pages, woof, there we go. David said, Cliff Arquette, my grandfather was raised in Toledo. I did not know that. And I apologize now because I like Cliff. He's one of the few of your family that I do enjoy. Austin said, I'll send you pictures of my costume on Halloween Day if you want. You know what? I think it's okay. American said, hi, David. I'll be trying to introduce people to Ravenous this fall and winter. Oh, well, that's nice. Mia said, would you go on Celebrity Jeopardy? Yes. Will they have me? No. Spots and grandparents were from 100 West Virginia. They were number 45 and 51. Neil said, welcome, big boy. You're here forever. The happy human. Oh, did Big Boy join? Oh, my God. I didn't even see this. Big Boy joined Citizens United. You're large. You have a density to you, and I embrace it. Thank you. David's tribute was to stop me from cursing, and now it's work. I'm going to try not to swear for the rest of the episode. Suplexus said, good morning, RJ. Have you seen the new Elvis movie? I thought Austin Butler did a phenomenal job as Elvis, but we all know the right choice would have been the Honky Tonk Man. I saw one scene from it. They're filming, maybe they're filming Jailhouse Rock or something, and then they're about to do a scene, and they're like, cut, and somebody runs out on the set, and he goes, Bobby Kennedy's being shot. And they're like, oh, my God. And then they cut to all them watching a TV, and I was like, I'm good. I think I got it. We got the gist here. But if I ever, you'll know I've somehow started booking AEW or started writing AEW when there's a backstage vignette or a promo or something. They're talking to like Matt Hardy and the Butcher and the Blade, and they're halfway through their promo, and just somebody runs out and yells, Bobby Kennedy's being shot. And then they just run, and then we cut and don't mention anything. Rachel said, and Tim Curry. That's just weird. Was great. Yeah, apparently Christopher Daniels wrestled under a mask as Tim Curry. I thought that was a little bizarre. Leo said, is Stanley Tucci worse than Chris Pratt? In my opinion, yes. I mean, I don't know that much about Chris Pratt. I'm sure he's, whatever. He's like, man. But Stanley Tucci, I'm actively angered by. Spot Center said, sweet Stan Lane should have been the fall guy, not Lee Majors. But Lee had the song. I don't know what you want from me. Resident Evil said, I have Leon Kennedy costume bought on Amazon. So you just have a tactical vest. Leo said, would you rather go to a Christian rock festival or an anti-woke stand-up comedy night? I do enjoy. The one thing better than good comedy is bad comedy. So I would love to go to that night. There's been, and I said this, maybe I talked even about it last week. On YouTube, I watched Mike Huckabee's horrible late night talk show. I watched the acts, the bad comedians, and it tickles me. I don't know why. And I hate supporting it. I wish somebody ripped them off and put them on another YouTube channel so I could give money to that instead of him. But holy shit. Yeah, no question. You could just ask me, do you want to go on an anti-woke stand-up comedy night? And be like, yes. I'm very interested. Neil said, I think everyone was expecting curry talk from RJ and Daniels, and I liked the gloss over. I pulled some punches. Rod said, Ohio and Michigan once fought a war over Toledo. The old joke is that Ohio lost. I'll say. The last time and the only time I was in Toledo, I went to Tony Paco's, which is perhaps the most disgusting restaurant I've ever been to. Happy Human Adventure said, I saw the movie Dream with the Fishes at a theater in Pittsburgh called The Beehive. RJ, you should watch it. I should. I believe David's in it. Big Boy said, do the citizens provide anything in the way of a tax write-off? I consider it a charitable donation. Roll the dice with the government if you wish, but it's a charitable donation in my book. And Revenge said, dear RJ, if you were a song on Beyonce's Renaissance, why would you be faded? Faded. I'm the one who faded you. I love that song. Amanda said, thanks in advance for November. I don't know what that means, but it almost sounds threatening. American Girl said, RJ, will traveling be easier for you now that the border mandate is being lifted? Yes, somewhat. It was never a problem before because I'm a dual citizen. But no, I mean, it was a problem. You'd have to get tested both ways, tested in advance, different kinds of tests. You got to fill out this app. It used to be a whole thing. It'll be easier. It's still not great. The customs is still continually a pain in the ass. I applied for Nexus before the pandemic, and the offices are still closed. So my application ran out. They took my $50, even though their offices were closed. It's not my fault. And I had to do it again, and I'm still waiting, and the offices is still not open. It's driving me insane. Spot Center said, 1C Dub is back. Did you see the guy bust his ass from the balcony overshooting the table? Yes, I did. And the tragedy is that first table that was next to it broke by accident first, and had that one still been there, he would have been okay. He clearly jumped, still hoping for 2 tables. Mikey said, off to run for the cure. Have a great day, everyone. I hope they cure the runs that you have, Mikey. Good job for going. Blue Meanie is here, and good morning to you, Blue. I was watching a Blue Meanie thing. What was I watching? Was Stevie Richards involved? Did somebody post the Kiss clip again? I think that's what I watched. It's very strange. You popped up and I was talking about you to someone. I can't remember who it is right now. Or maybe that wonderful story about when your balls popped out. I think that it was on Botchamania. When your balls popped out on Raw, and Luna says, hey, remember when your balls popped out? It's a wonderful story. Go look at it. If you're interested, I mean, you don't see his balls. So if you're interested in seeing Blue Meanie's balls, his blue balls, I'm sorry to disappoint you. You won't be seeing them. It's a letdown. But the story is good. Just don't click on the video expecting balls. Leo said, would you rather go to a furry convention or one of those huge Herbalife events? The furry convention, I feel like I would have to be dressed as a furry, and I don't want to sweat too much. So Herbalife it is, because I want free green powder that doesn't actually do anything. That would be fun for me. Matt Sanity said, after hearing you reference it during the Q&A, I found Joe Franklin's interview with David Schultz, Dr. D. It was such a glorious disaster. I think David Schultz might have made multiple appearances on the show. By the way, there's a guy named John Cosper who wrote an excellent book with David Schultz. It's worth, if you're interested in David Schultz's life as much as I am, it's worth getting. He got me, John Cosper gave me an autographed copy of, not him, but Dave Schultz, which is so great because I saw Dave Schultz at the first Starcast and I was too afraid to say hello. Everyone's saying good morning to Meanie. David says, Dream with the Fishes is about to get a 25th anniversary re-release. Thank you for watching it. Why isn't Free Money getting a free release? Your one and only film with Marlon Brando. Is there not much call for it? Has it not developed a cult following? It's been longer than 25 years. And then after I yelled at David about his Marlon Brando film, a bunch of people commented and messaged me about Marlon Brando. And from 1985 on, once they got Brando for Superman, he was just like, nothing matters anymore. And he's just in a string of terrible stuff. Does anyone remember, I think it's called Don Juan DeMarco with Johnny Depp? When I used to take acting classes, which we won't get into now, there was a scene and I had to do a scene from that movie. And I was like, this is horrible, but it has Brando and Depp in it. How bad could it be? So then I watched the whole movie and the answer is very bad. And Nail said, are you going to try some of Billy Gunn / Danhausen's pre-workout? If it doesn't have creatine in it, the creatine tends to bloat me and I don't like it. So if it's creatine, I'll certainly smell it and I'll certainly taste it. Maybe I should get my own. There should be a high anxiety pre-workout and it's just jacked to the gills with caffeine. Vivian said, hearing the horrors of Canadian customs makes me feel for everyone who has to fly out frequently and has given me deep fear of ever being in the Montreal airport. Yeah, sometimes, you know what? By and large, maybe one every 20 or 30 flights for me has been a bad one. But when they're bad, it sucks. It's just very difficult. So, yeah, they don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit. I have to stop swearing, though. David paid me to stop swearing. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to stop swearing. Midnight Cowboy said, Blue Meanie, I caught your video about Goldust and your marbles popping out incident. It was a good chuckle. But again, you didn't get to see the balls. So I was missing that. Nail said, yes, it was on Boxamania. Blue Meanie said, the worst part is knowing it was going to happen and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Isn't that like a great allegory for death, though? You're lying there exposed for the world to see. There's nothing you can do about it. Blue Meanie said, saw David last night watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And Paul Rubens is in that movie. One of the greatest death scenes, perhaps of all time. Rod said, what sort of medicine did Dr. David Schultz actually practice? I think he was holistic. He was a holistic doctor. Leo said, talking of anti-woke comedy, I want to see Dave Schultz slap the crap out of Andrew Schultz. I don't know who Andrew. You always know these people who are like very bad, but I still have no idea who they are. Matt Sanity said Marlon Brando and Richard Pryor both appeared in the Superman movies. Coincidence? Well, when you're lovers, you try to work together as often as possible. David said, hey, meaning. Amanda said, this is very random. Are you ordained? We're going to do a renewal in Vegas next year. I'm not ordained. Dalton Castle suggested I get ordained and then realized it was a bad idea. So I'm not ordained, but you're also renewing your vows. So they're already locked in legally. It's even more performance than the first wedding. So what difference does it make? Claire X has joined the Key to the City. Hello, Claire. Welcome. There are a bunch of exclusive videos you've missed out on. Feel free to hit the community tab and scroll all the way back. There's a monthly Q&A. You're going to enjoy yourself, I think. Thank you. Human Adventure said, so I just want to say I got caught in an RJ City YouTube hole, which happens a lot lately. and I saw this Perfect Strangers video game and other weird games. I just want to say that Perfect Strangers video game, which you can find me playing on the channel, doesn't exist online anymore, which really bothers me. What has been one of your favorite YouTube holes that you got sucked into? I was actually just watching all the talks from the 92nd Street Y, all the old ones I didn't realize even existed, which is why I tweeted about wanting to do an AEW there a couple days ago. There's another guy, I cannot remember his name. He found a bunch of like lost media stuff and stuff that was like, HBO used to crank out like a lot of comedy specials, and then they were gone when they weren't before streaming. They were really, really gone. I watched 6 episodes. There's only 6 episodes of a thing called Morton and Hayes. And it was like the Christopher Guest crew put together, and Rob Reiner did like an Abbott and Costello-ish comedy team. And it's Kevin Pollak and some other guy. And they were great. It was fun. And to my knowledge, it is the only project that has both David Arquette's father, Louis Arquette, in a role I've never seen him so featured, and also Courtney Cox, who different episodes, but she's so young in it. I almost didn't recognize her, but Louis is tour de force. Neil said, I would laugh so much if you also made a pre-workout. Make an RJ mask too. Just copy everything Danhausen does. Blue Meanie said, hey, to David back. Paul Girl said, didn't realize David was in Stealing Sinatra. He's got an IMDb, let me tell you. So Sierra said, I'm staying in Windsor for the old wrestling show. I'm nervous about crossing the bridge. Oh my God, you'll be okay. You'll be totally fine. Plan for it. Give yourself some extra time. And then if you don't need it, you go shopping. You have a coffee or something. AKA Baldy said, what's the story about having to kiss Steamboat's Hall of Fame and wedding ring? Okay, yes, I will tell this story. It was a Greektown Wrestling years ago, and Ricky Steamboat was on the show. I guess he was guest enforcer, some whatever. And earlier in the show, I did a promo with him, and, a back and forth. I'm sure I called him Steamer. What are you going to do, another arm drag? I think we got it. And the gist of his response to me was, I'm blah, 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 and I'm a Hall of Famer. And if you, cross me, I'm going to beat you up and blah, 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 and I'm going to make you kiss my ring. Or it was something like that. And there was like a kiss the ring chant. And then we ended the promo. And when we got to the back, and I said, well, we should, do something at the end with that. So he was the official of a match. And I think there was Double Down, and I ran out to interfere or something, and then he came in and he spun me around, and now I'm like, oh shit. And they remembered, they started doing the kiss, because I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry. So they started doing a kiss the ring chant, and he looked on his hand and he went, oh shit, I left it in my bag. So he didn't have his Hall of Fame ring on him for me to kiss. So he looked at his other hand, to which he had his wedding ring. Nobody could tell because they're so far away. And he's like, well, I guess you got to kiss my wedding ring. So then he put out his hand and I held it, and I kissed Ricky Steamboat's wedding ring. So I'm sure Bonnie was thrilled or something. That's that story. Nell said, welcome, Claire. Enjoy the Parks and Inside jokes and shout, fuck Mark Ruffalo every time someone says his name. Now, David, that was not me swearing. That was Nail swearing. And it was about someone who's very mean to you. So I think it's justified if Gus has any questions. Forget everything you've seen here, Gus. Leo said, when are you going on Mulleted Tits Theo Von's podcast? David has been on Theo Von's podcast, I think, multiple times. And I think I was supposed to go with you one time. I think we were going to go, but then my flight got changed. So then I left as you were doing it. Does that make any sense? Regardless, I think he follows me on Instagram or something, or his team does. Amanda said, oh, that's true. I didn't even think of that. You're a perfect fit for it. I will be reaching out. Oh, yeah, for being ordained and whatever. Neil said, didn't Dalton marry someone on the Jericho Cruise? I'm going to divorce people on the Jericho Cruise. Midnight Cowboy said, how do you become a member? I do not see the option. You may not be able to see it if you're on your phone. If you go to the desktop, I believe, there's a big blue join button, and that'll give you a bunch of options. People seem to enjoy it. Sean said, have you tried the Wayback Machine regarding the Perfect Strangers game? I have not. I don't know how it works, but I'm going to look it up and see. And yeah, Nail said, Cowboy, you don't do it via the app. You have to go to your browser. Nicholas said, that's awesome. Dalton has so much charisma. And he's been popping up on AEW more. Yet, we've never been on the same show in the same building. But we will be at Old Wrestling. Rob said, I thought you said Abaddon Costello there. When Abaddon does AEW, and so many people have asked for her. I don't think I've even met her in person. We're going to do Abaddon Costello. Leo said, when you get Ethan Page on AEW, can you ask him about Herbalife? He is big into that. Did you know Cristiano Ronaldo uses Herbalife? Well, I would certainly take his advice. Amanda said, so Sierra, come to Detroit early and get some cheap-ass recreational weed. Yeah, don't get the medicinal grade. Get the shittier stuff. Sorry, David and Gus. And party with me and my friend who will be there. She'll be dressed as the fortune teller. Neil said, I think Ricky is having a last match. Isn't he? I'm sure there's a rumor. I thought it was officially announced that Ricky Steamboat will be having his last match. However, I messaged him and he told me he doesn't want me to kiss his wedding ring again. He thought, we did all we could do with that. Neil said, is he still happily married? How should I know? Claire said, I've been tuning in for weeks and weeks. And I'm still a little unsure about the Mark Ruffalo hate, but I can fake it. Claire, I assure you, it's a very valid personal reason. It's very personal. I'm not the person who it's personal to, but it's very personal. You need to trust me on this one. I said it about Tucci, and people go, why? And I explain it, and they go, yeah, I see it. So trust me when I say I have guff with rough. You understand what I'm saying? David said, yeah, you left early. Yes, I left before I could meet Theo Vaughn. Damn it. Amanda said, you can go to the but I did meet, didn't I meet the Vanderpump Rules people? I was there for that one. That was fun and adorable, and they, I believe, still follow me. American Girl said, RJ, I was thinking about going as Miss Ronnie Spector for Halloween. I know this sounds ridiculous and horrible and evil, but I was just looking up Phil Spector. Don't go for Halloween. Don't go as Phil Spector. But I was just looking him up because I wanted to see what the genre of music is. I was looking for that particular sound. I was trying to explain it to somebody, and I couldn't find the name of that. They're like, oh, it's R&B, but it's so not specific enough. You can go to who's your favorite 60s girl group artist? I enjoy the Ronettes. I enjoy the Crystals. Gina said, oh my God, I hope you're on the Jericho cruise. You can divorce me from my husband. Gina, I've not been asked to be on the cruise, so therefore I don't even have the option to say no. There's been no demand. You're just telling me. You're demanding it to me. I have no pull. Can't pull myself. Leo said, Ethan Page is in the Herbalife President's Club. I'm going to look into this. Big Boy said, Cristiano Ronaldo does a concerning amount of underwear modeling. Yeah, what a weirdo. Neil said, we don't ask questions. We just go along with it. F that guy. And I said F because Gus Arquette is watching. Guardswan said, you met the Vanderpump Rules people? Yes. David and his wife, Christina, were on one of their podcasts while I was there, and I met them. And there's, I think, an Instagram story with me and them somewhere. David said, Ricky Steamboat was the judge for me in wrestling court. What? When was this? You were in wrestler's court? Please explain. How have I known you this long and I'm still hearing stuff I've never heard before? Neil said, oh my God, can we get stickers that say, I got guff with rough? No, that's a long way to go for that. Austin said, question for everyone. What was the worst costume you've worn on Halloween? For me, it was a vampire costume with a janky upper suit and didn't come with fangs. So I ended up using purple ones. Yeah, that makes no sense at all. It was a bad Halloween. Neil said, someone make a sign saying it for the next AEW show. I got guff with rough. That's going to take off. Leo said, for Halloween, I'm going as bland UK property expert and parasite Phil Spencer. Close. Emily said, I love the courtroom pictures of Phil Spector. Even the younger pictures, there's no good picture of Phil Spector. I can say that with confidence. Happy Human Adventure says, just want to add that you would make a great freakazoid. I would. I tweeted this before. I even have a bit of silver streak in my hair. Yes. Also, listening in spaces right now is the delightful Nugnar Gang, who is the Greek town general manager, if you like both Greeks and wrestling. And I believe he will also be at Old Wrestling too. And I also want to say that his baby, his child, is adorable. And also, and this is not a dig, is very dense. She's heavy, but I don't mean that to say she's large, because she's normal. She's a big baby, but not bigger than normal. But was when I had lifted her up compared to other babies with this, compared to perhaps my niece, she's heavy. And I'm like, it's a solid baby. Also, and probably because I said this about her, she does not like me very much. Any interaction has been stilted and confused. I've not brought any joy into her life. No, that's not true. I bought her a book. I don't think she realizes the book is from me. Having said that, Gus likes me. Oh, David said, when the Nasty Boys got mad at me in the documentary. Oh, my God. I thought you were talking about like it was WCW or something. Yes, I remember that. And David, I remember meeting you there. That was in Detroit. And I had left at the end of the night. I had left, and then that's when you guys got into the fight. And that's so strange that the Nasty Boys wouldn't like people and then get into a fight that's on camera. That's so un-Nasty Boy of them. Big Boy said, what shampoo conditioner do you use? I use one called Acure, and it's a green. It's a white bottle that has a green stripe on it, and it has peppermint in it. It's clarifying because I sweat a lot, so I need to clarify. I don't condition unless you count aloe vera as a conditioner. Then yes. Rachel said, I was actually quoted in Spin Magazine about Phil Spector during the trial because I was working for a music news website at the time. Was your quote, oh my God, Phil Spector? Because I think that's the only appropriate quote. Neil said, can we put Nasty Boys on the list? No, because I will say the Nasty Boys have always been very nice to me, and I don't want to incur their wrath. I'm fully aware of what they're capable of. They've always been nice to me. Christine said, I'm getting more and more annoyed that I can't go to Old Wrestling. Stupid previous commitments. I'm sure it'll be on DVD 8 years from now, be on beta. Human Adventure said, I once dressed up as Cheer Bear for Trick or Treat. Not knowing that Cheer Bear was a girl, I got ridiculed. F them. Although that plastic mask and rubber band were cutting into my... That's a lot to be a bear for Halloween. It's a big ask. I think you should have picked a costume that has a little less maintenance. Nicholas said, oh my God, Old Wrestling looks like fun. I've always had a good time. It's all, like if I was not going to the show, I would say you should still go to the show because it's wonderful. So Sierra said, I live in Michigan and I have 3 weeks stores. What? I have 3 weeks stores within a 3-block radius from my house, and locals get a discount. What is a 3-week store? Leo said, who is worse, Phil Spector or Gary Glitter? Oh my God. Well, yeah, there is no good way to answer this. I will say Gary Glitter had way worse music. Phil Spector, I think everyone is in agreement that all the songs and the music production was fantastic. Gary Glitter, on top of also being a horrible human being, turned out shit. So, they say, can you separate the artist from the art? So even if you did do that, and this is probably the only way to tell because both had abhorrent behavior. The only way you can really tell is to do that, in which case Gary Glitter would be worse. Mass Andy said, are the Nasty Boys your Jerry Lewis? No, Jerry Lewis is my Jerry Lewis. Oh no, I see what you're saying. How Gilbert Godfrey says the Nasty Boys have always been nice to me. Um, yeah, maybe they are. I have this thing where there are certain people who have reputations for being assholes or being difficult, and I go, oh God, and then they're great with me, and I go, oh, shit, what did I do? Or even worse, I go, does that mean I'm an asshole? Are these two assholes just getting along? David sent another tribute, a guy juggling lemons for some reason. I'm going to say that was on behalf of Gus. That was, he requested for a story of the Nasty Boys from the road. Okay. We stopped. So we were out east. We traveled out east. And it was on like the Trans-Canada Highway. And all they have there is literally, especially in these small towns, was like Tim Hortons and Mary Brown's. And Mary Brown's is like fried chicken. And we would stop and we would always, always, always eat this fried chicken because Knobs always wanted to stop there. And it was Knobs in the front. I wasn't driving. I was in the back with Sags, who was not a morning person, who I enjoyed very much. And he would have a towel around his neck and he would just mess with the driver and he'd say, slow down. The guy would slow down and 5 minutes would go by and he'd go, speed up a little. He would, just constantly messing with people. And, on the trip, there was a certain point where we had to take a ferry. I horrible with the geography of it, but maybe we were in Newfoundland and we had to get to Nova Scotia or something. And the roster had to be split up into two ferries. So it was a day of just travel, no show. And there was a day ferry and a night ferry. And somebody said, oh, what ferry you on? I said, I'm on I'm the night ferry. And somebody said, oh, that's also his nickname. So Knobs then referred to me, and Sag still does, as the night ferry. And I guess the legend was that I would just be sneaking into their rooms and kissing them at night, putting on lipstick and kissing them and leaving through the window going, shh, because I was the night fairy. And I think one night I left Sags a little love note. I slipped it under his door from the night fairy. They would also, if you're going back to your room, they would just walk past somebody's room and kick the door and run in their room. Sags would call people, like crank call them. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. You pick up the phone, you go, hello. And literally you just hear, I hang up. So this is the level that we're dealing with. So then I would always be ready for him because he'd do it like every night. So one night he called and I picked up the phone and I had Tatanka's theme song already queued up. And I immediately started playing it into the phone and I just heard him go, and hung up the phone. They were very sweet. I mean, they were also weird, but they're very sweet. Positively E said, Phil Spector is famous for the wall of sound style music production, amongst other things. Very influential, unlike Gary Glitter, who we're going to try to stop mentioning too. So, David, I hope that satisfied your Nasty Boys itch. Nail said, look at how lovely David is to you. I'm all for taking on David's battles. It's because I give him I'm the honest friend. You need to hear this from me. That's what I say to him. Rachel said, Phil Spector was a messed up guy, but you can't doubt his contributions to music overall. See? Oh, weed stores. So Sierra said weed stores. Thank you. That makes sense now. Amanda has a wonderful tribute. Oh, no, there's so many people. A song by the Crystals? Maybe Then He Kissed Me. Let me see if I can do this. We're running against the clock here. Okay. Well, he walked up to me and he asked me if I wanted to dance. Bow, 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 bow. Dun, 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 dun. He looked kind of nice, and so I said I might take a chance. Dun, 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 dun. When he danced, he held me tight. Dun, dun. When he walked me home that night, All the stars were shining bright, and then he kissed me. Each time I saw him, I couldn't wait to see him again. I want to let him know that I was more than a friend. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't know just what to do. Dun, dun. So I whispered, I love you. And he said that he loved me too. And then he kissed me. Dun, 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 dun. He kissed me in a way that I've never been kissed before. Dun, 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 dun. He kissed me in a way that I want to be kissed forevermore. Dun, 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 dun. I knew that he was mine, so I gave him all the love that I had. Dun, 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 dun. And one day he took me home to meet his mom and dad. Dun, 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 dun. Then he asked me to be his bride and always be right by his side. I felt so happy I almost cried, and then he kissed me. Dun, 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 dun. So they never made it past first base. It was a real tragedy there. Leo said there's a documentary called The Execution of Gary Glitter. Oy, Lord. Gary is the first to be hung. Oh, they were suggesting that. Yeah, that's weird. Amanda said, because you're a gem and we don't deserve you. Also, I'm obsessed with the hair shakeout. Please, I don't know why people are requesting another hair shakeout. It's just weird. It's just weird behavior. It's a lot of work. We're against the clock here, too. Okay. Here. Look, we've shaken. Is this what I've hit the wall now? Is this better? Look at the gray is really coming into like a J. Jonah Jameson kind of thing. Nicholas said that was a golden story. It was a good story. I forgot about that. Thank you, David, for your one positive contribution to my life. Pogirl wanted, a wonderful goldenrod tribute for a swear band to snap every time you use potty language. Thank you. I will get one. I appreciate it. AKA Baldy said, have you changed your mind about traveling to DC this week and doing a meet and greet at Battle of the Belt? For the last time, I'm not the one who makes the decisions about exactly what I do in AEW. I don't say, hey guys, I'm coming to DC, and they go, great. They call me and tell me what I don't own the company. And I'm going to do a meet and greet too. No, if there is a demand, because again, Baldy, you're demanding from the wrong person. You understand what I'm saying? You have to go to the supplier. You have to demand to the supplier. I'm not the supplier. I supply this. I'm giving you this right now. And that's about it. So continue watching AEW. Continue, tweeting about the business. Continue making requests. And then we'll see what happens. But until you redirect your demand, probably not going to happen. Vivian said, the woolly kitten from deep in the Ozarks says hello and tried to headbutt RJ singing. I have a cat whisperer. David said, I love you all, which is a real blanket statement. Everyone's loving him too. Blah, 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 blah. Human Adventure says, as always, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. And thank you, David Arquette, for joining us. You're my special guest. Corey said, great-ass story. Leo said, I just sent you the link for the Gary Glitter execution doc. It's something else. Good. When I need something to bring me down after this, that's exactly what I will do. Rod said, J. Jonah Jameson is not a fan of the Night Fairy. Oh, this is so sweet. Christine has gifted 5 memberships. Lawrence got one. Midnight got one. Zubin got one. Janet got one. And Delilah. So sweet of you, Christine. Thank you. Emily said, I got my tickets for AW in Toronto. Going to be my first time in Toronto and on a plane. Holy shit. That's going to be a week for you. Hang in there and enjoy yourself and relax. Paul Girl said, this cult is a lot of fun. We need fun. Dear Lord, in this day and age, God knows we need fun, huh? We need to have a good time. Oh, with everything that's been going on. Well, that's nice. I had another cup of coffee back here. I didn't even get through this one because it's so big. Isn't that nice? Cowboy got a membership. Isn't that sweet? Human Adventure said, that's a great week. First flight, Canada, all those things. Isn't it? And then you'll think about me walking around the arena as a child and Jimi Hendrix playing Wild Things. A lot going on. Corey said, Tennessee needs some RJ ASAP. I would love to go to Nashville. I really should. I've enjoyed going there. I have multiple people I know who live there now, and I really should be going. Anyway, generally speaking, that's the show. Mia said, go Bucks. I don't know, Joe Buck. Atachi said North Carolina desperately needs RJ. That's also not true. Happy Human Adventure said I want RJ to go to Japan someday. Well, I don't know what you want from me. Anyway, that is the program. Let's get a final look at the underwear. Please go watch the latest episode of Hey W with Christopher Daniels. He's delightful. Go watch all the episodes of Hey W again and tell them there should be more things going on, I guess. That's the best way to do this. And in the meantime, Godspeed.